Welcome. IP for OS is about making the right decisions about intellectual property to turn knowledge into maximum social and economic impact, or knowledge valorization. It is based on the belief that by using the right tools at the right time, it is possible both to apply open science principles and to enable commercial exploitation of the fruits of research. The project is there to support the community of professionals who help researchers to work together to provide the best possible advice. Today, we'll explore the role of librarians in this process and how they can consult and collaborate with others. Librarians are, of course, a key part of this community and have a key role in helping researchers navigate the scholarly communications landscape and take the right decisions about rights. Here's Alex Fenlon to share a practical example.
I was recently contacted by a researcher in medicine who developed a clinical diagnostic tool, associated standard operating procedures, and implementation strategies, as well as public engagement materials. The researcher was actively working with hospitals and national health trusts locally, developing a commercialization strategy, including licensing and launching a spin-out company. All of this came out of a research grant that contained both open access obligations to publish peer-reviewed research articles under a CC BY license and commercialization requirements with grant conditions expressly mentioning IP ownership for other outputs arising from the research. Library colleagues worked with the researcher and colleagues in our commercialization team to identify what the grant conditions were, what the open access and open science requirements applied to, and developed a strategy that enabled compliance with funder obligations, promoted open science, and enabled impact via commercialization routes. Generally, librarians don't get involved with research contracts, but understanding the obligations in terms of open science and commercialization or translation of research was really important, as we needed to balance both aspects to fulfill funder obligations. The combined open science and commercialization approaches enabled the researcher to maximize their impact by facilitating openness for research and public uses, while allowing commercial uses subject to licensing arrangements.
This illustrates how librarians offer actionable advice, helping researchers find their way between the expectations of funders, open science policies, and the potential for commercialization. Such situations are not a one-off. Developing policies and tools in collaboration with other professionals can promote efficiency and consistency, as well as opening up space for conversations across institutions. Here's Chris Morrison to talk about his experience of this.
Thanks. At the University of Oxford, we have a service called Research Data Oxford. This is a collaboration between the library, IT services, research services, and our innovation team, which provides guidance and support to researchers on how best to manage their data. At the heart of Research Data Oxford is a process for creating a data management plan that helps researchers work through the practical, ethical, and legal questions associated with preserving their data and making it available in the most appropriate way. When a researcher follows the data management plan process, they're prompted to decide what data can be made openly accessible and which license terms to apply to them. These questions can often feel daunting to researchers, so it's important they have the necessary support to think through the various considerations and make informed decisions. The team I sit in, the Bodleian Library's Office for Open Research, includes specialists in open access publishing, data preservation, research data management, and copyright and licensing. We work closely with colleagues across the university to help our researchers find the answers to their questions so they can make their discoveries and insights available to the world in the best way possible.
Tools and processes like these can be a great help, freeing up time for researchers and professionals, ensuring greater transparency, and delivering stronger results both for openness and knowledge valorization. A further key consideration in some countries is the existence of secondary publication rights, which guarantee the possibility to publish publicly funded research in repositories. Inga, will tell us more about how this has shaped policies at Ghent University.
Indeed, Stephen. At Ghent University, the secondary publishing right has truly shaped how we approach open access. This right has been part of Belgian law since 2018, and from the start, a library team actively promoted it as a practical, legal way to make research openly available. Moreover, in 2023, Ghent University introduced a new policy on scholarly publishing, including open access, that builds on this foundation. We don't mandate a single route to open access, but we encourage researchers to share their work as soon as possible and with an open license where they can. The focus is on green and diamond open access. There's no central fund for publishing costs, so free for the reader, free for the author. Secondary publishing rights supports green open access through our repository Biblio. For peer-reviewed journal articles, Belgian law guarantees that authors keep the right to make their author-accepted manuscript, the so-called AAM, public after an embargo of 6 to 12 months. This right is embedded in our policy, and that is powerful. But how to make it work? Well, management integrated the secondary publishing right into the university publishing policy. Universities collaborated across Flanders. Together, we agreed on a common interpretation of the law, such as what qualifies as an AAM and what counts as a Belgian connection. And open access experts, of course, raise awareness and guide authors through the process, making it as simple as possible. Together, we create a culture where openness is a default. But after years of experience, we need change. The Belgian law in its current form doesn't suffice. We need a broader European secondary publishing right, harmonized across Europe with broader terms such as zero embargo, allowing CC licenses, and coverage beyond journal articles. Researchers across Europe deserve the same fair rules. No obstacles, no confusion.
Inge's example highlights the need to take account of wider laws in designing policies and approaches within institutions. At the same time, it also shows the key role that professionals supporting researchers play in making a reality of the goals of national policies such as secondary publication rights, and indeed in shaping them to be as effective as possible. And in designing institutional approaches, there are opportunities, as mentioned before, to engage colleagues, such as knowledge transfer offices too. In their role in advising individual researchers, as well as shaping open access policies, librarians have a key part to play in a synergistic approach to managing intellectual property in ways that promote open science. Through their expertise and missions, they have much to bring to collaborative work with other knowledge professionals around providing coherent and effective support to researchers. What does this process look like in your institution? How far are you able to promote openness in the support that you offer? How well are you coordinating the advice that researchers receive?